The third Modern Horizons set is right around the corner, and if you clicked on this video, there's a good chance that you're interested in playing the format for the very first time. Modern is a great place to find a competitive outlet. You can choose to cement yourself as a master of a specific archetype, or you can choose to become an expert in a lot of different decks and choose which one is the best one to play on any given weekend during an ever-evolving metagame. In a lot of ways, I've always felt that Modern is a format of self-expression. It's really common for players to find a weird, complicated, interesting deck that resonates with them, and they really put their own spin and their own twist on it, and a lot of times it ends up becoming a big part of that player's identity. To me, what's been the most satisfying thing about Modern as a format is that it really is a brewer's paradise. The 21-year card pool of Modern is full of classic, iconic cards that don't rotate out of the format, and is constantly being expanded upon with new Magic releases. And these new releases oftentimes work in really interesting, weird, cool ways with the old cards that exist, and just makes the format evolve and change and grow constantly. And there's not a better example of that phenomenon, I think, than the Modern Horizons sets. These sets are designed to make Modern grow and evolve while still highlighting a lot of the powerful cards that have existed in the past. The first Modern Horizons set was so exciting to me as a brewer that I started streaming my brews on Magic Online. And I found the Modern format to be so deep and interesting that over the course of my 5-year streaming career, I have built and posted over 1,700 Modern deck lists. Of course, a lot of these are reiterations of the same idea. A lot of these are me circling back to other ideas I've had years ago. They're me tweaking existing metagame decks. They're me taking ideas from my community and working on them and trying to maximize the quality of the idea. Some of these have been really, really good and end up becoming like a big splash in the metagame, and a lot of them have been a lot less good. But the format is just so deep that as someone who tries to come up with something new every single day to play on stream, I feel like I can just never run out of ideas. And if that sounds fun to you, and I do firmly believe that there is a brewer in the heart of every single Magic player, there is not a better time to get into the Modern format than right now with the release of Modern Horizons 3. There are so many interesting and unique and powerful cards in Modern Horizons 3 that I've spent hours and hours on Twitch and YouTube making content just talking about the possible applications of these cards in the Modern format. I think if you have the heart of a brewer, you can find a cool and interesting idea to try to expand upon, to try to maximize, and there just really is something for every single type of playstyle. To share ideas and kind of give you a sense of what I'm talking about here, I thought it'd be fun to go over some decklist ideas for Modern Horizons 3. One of the first things I'm going to try to do when MH3 comes out is turn a copy of Shifting Woodland into a copy of Omniscience and then cast a bunch of big stuff. Shifting Woodland is a land that enters untapped if you control a forest. It taps for a green, and for 4 mana, and also Shifting Woodland can tap for that 4 mana, it can become a copy of any permanent in your graveyard if you have 4 more different types in that graveyard. What's really cool about turning your Shifting Woodland into an Omniscience is that you can just kind of totally ignore discard spells, you can just totally ignore counter spells, because this effect is just on a land. It's pretty wild. I like a lot of the energy cards in Modern Horizons 3 also, and one thing I know I'm going to get to do at some point is cast a Galvanic Discharge on turn 1, killing my opponent's first turn creature, keeping some energy left over, casting Amped Raptor on turn 2, getting some extra energy, and using it to cast a Laelia Blade Reforged for free, get in for 3 damage, and be super ahead on turn 2. At some point, I'm going to get to use a Fallaji Archaeologist to mill over a Sevinne's Reclamation, put a Flare of Denial in my hand, sacrifice my Archaeologist to a Flare of Denial to counter an opponent's spell, and then later flashback Sevinne's Reclamation to get back my Archaeologist and another permanent. I've been spending a lot of time figuring out fun, convoluted combo loops with Primal Prayers, a 4-mana enchantment that lets you cast spells for free, provided that those spells are creature spells with mana value 3 or less, and you have an energy to spend on that creature's casting cost rather than just its normal mana cost. Image 3 is also giving us Guide of Souls, a creature that gives us an energy every time a creature enters, effectively paying for Primal Prayers each time. It's giving us Recruiter of the Guard, which can search up any awesome thing to cast with Primal Prayers, specifically Shrieking Drake, which is a 1-mana 1/1 that can return any other creature to your hand, including itself. So if you just Shrieking Drake bounce itself over and over again when you have Guide of Souls in play, you can gain infinite life. Then you can bounce the Recruiter of the Guard that you cast to get your Shrieking Drake, replay the Recruiter of Guard, and get MH3's Sorin House of Markov, pass to your second main phase, transform Sorin into Sorin Ravenous Neonate, -1 Sorin Ravenous Neonate, and deal your opponent a million damage. This video really can't come close to being long enough to express all of the ideas I have for the format. To give you a little small glimpse, here's a screenshot of a text I sent my friend just talking about all of the decks I wanted to start with, and the text message was so long it didn't even fit in the screenshot. I appreciate y'all taking the time to listen to me yap about my favorite format. I encourage you to give it a try if you haven't before, because I really truly think there's something in Modern for everyone. Modern Horizons 3 is out June 14th. You can play it at your local game store at a launch party June 14th to 16th. Hope to see you there.